Hello, everyone, and welcome once again in the fifth and last video of the chapter The Lost Child, written by Mulraj Anand. In this video, we are going to discuss about the summary, its theme, the title, and the message that we get from the story, The Lost Child. So let us first begin with the title of the story. The Lost Child is a story all about the sweet relationship between the children and their parents. Parents are an umbrella of security, and children a source of happiness and joy. The joy and the happiness of the children is ensured by their protecting parents. But if the children lose their parents, a dark world falls before them. This is beautifully brought in the story The Lost Child by Mulraj Anand. When there is the company of his parents, the child is all delight. He has the desire to acquire many things in the fair, but he knows that he can't get them as his parents would not buy for him. So he goes forward. But when he loses his parents, his desires for anything is instantly killed. And there is a shift in the values of the things in two different phases of the story. Therefore, the title, The Lost Child, is appropriate. So next we move on to the theme. So the theme of the story, The Lost Child, written by Mulraj Anand, is the close bond that the children share with their parents. The child is lost in the fair and forgets all about his desires and wish and craves profoundly for his parents when he fails to find them. He loses charm and interest in everything which he had seen. In other words, all the things that he had seen lose their significance, and the only wish the child is left with is to find his parents back and be with them forever. The small child looked at the world by himself. He was fascinated by most of the things he came across in everyday life. The child wanted to acquire them all, which fascinated him, while the parents were not often able to fulfill his desires and wants. It may be either they were not able to afford, or they might have felt that the things he demanded were not beneficial for him. The child might not have understood this and might have felt angry and sad. However, the child understood the worth of his parents only when he lost them amidst the fair. Therefore, he cries and longs for his parents and prays for them to return back to him. Well, let us now see the brief summary of the story. The scene of the story is set in the spring season. Since the winter had just ended, all the people came out of their homes and were cheerful as the wonderful breeze were inviting them with beautiful weather and environment. People conveyed through different modes: foot, horses, bamboo carts, and bullock carts. A little child was accompanied by his parents. He ran excitedly and often banged into his father's legs. He was full of life, excitement, and laughter. "Come, child, come," called his parents as he lagged behind, fascinated by the toys in the shops that lined the way. He hurried at the call of his parents with his obedient feet, while his eyes still lingered on the receding toys. He could not suppress his heart's desire to make a request for the toy to his parents, even though he was well aware of the old, cold stare of refusal in their eyes. The little child was excited because he was visiting the fair. This journey to the fair was overwhelming. On the way, he was often attracted by the things which he witnessed. In the fair, he was attracted by the toys displayed in the shop. He wanted to buy toys but his parents refused to buy them. There were sweet shops in the fair, and several types of sweets such as gulab jamun, rasgulla, burfi, jalebi were displayed in the plates. The child wanted to eat them. His favorite sweet was burfi. His mouth watered, but his parents paid no attention to his request. He often walked behind his parents, and sometimes he was attracted by the things in the fair. He lagged behind his parents. In the meantime, his parents also gave him a cautionary call, "Come, child, come." Finally, he came to the place where a roundabout was in full swing. Men, women, and children, all carried away in a whirling motion. They shrieked and cried with dizzy laughter. The child also wanted to go on the roundabout. He made a request to fulfill his desire, but there was no reply from his parents. Actually, he was attracted by the roundabout. He stayed and watched the roundabout. To his surprise, when he turned to look for his parents, he did not find them. In fact, he was lost. A kind man from the crowd forward and picked him up in his arms. He was ready to buy all the things he wanted earlier, but he refused them. He only said, "I want my mother, I want my father." He had lost all the charm and interest in the things which he once had when he was there with his parents. And now let us find out the message that we get from the story. The story conveys the message that children love their parents unconditionally. The lost child thinks of his father as a strict person. When he demands toys from him, he does not press his parents for sweets or garlands, etc., because he accepts that they will never grant him his wish. However, he gets scared when he realizes that he is lost. He cries dejectedly and inconsolably for his parents and forgets all about his cravings for sweets, garlands, balloons, snake charmers show, and even the ride on a roundabout. The story expresses the human nature that throughout our life we keep on searching happiness in material things and keep demanding them. But ultimately, the happiness lies in the bond and togetherness of the family. Parents and their blessings and support are the best gifts from God. Thus, the message of the story is that it makes the readers understand the worth of parents in the life of a child. Well, let us now see the questions following the text. What are the things the child sees on his way to the fair? Why does he lag behind? So the answer would be, on his way to the fair, the child sees the toys that were displayed in the shops lined up on the way. He saw the vast mustard field, which seemed like melting gold. There were bright-colored dragonflies, butterflies, and black bees which flapped and fluttered their wings and sat on the flowers to suck sweetness from them. He also saw little insects and worms that were crawling out of the holes in the footpath to get sunshine. The child saw a dove in the grove. He also saw throngs of people walking towards the fair. The child was often lagging behind because of watching the different happenings around him. He would get attracted to these things and would irresistibly stop in his way. Then his parents would walk ahead and he would be left behind. So next question, question number 2. In the fair, he wants many things. What are they? Why does he move on without waiting for an answer? So the answer is, in the fair, the boy wanted to buy a burfi from the sweetmeat seller. He wanted a garland of gulmohar flowers from the flower seller. Next he saw a balloon seller and wanted a balloon. When he saw the snake charmer, he was attracted to the music of the flute and wanted to listen to it. He wanted to take a ride on the roundabout swing. The child moved ahead from all the stalls without waiting for a reply because he knew that his parents would not heed to his demands. He knew their parents in his above mentioned demands would be a greedy child for demanding burfi. The garland of flowers was cheap for him. For balloons, he was grown up to play with and was forbidden from listening to such coarse and unpleasant music that was played by the snake charmer. And now, coming to question number 3, when does he realize that he has lost his way? How have his anxiety and insecurity been described? So the answer is, when the child demanded for a ride on the roundabout swing, his parents did not reply. He looked front and back and hither and thither, but were not there. It was then that he discovered that he had lost his way. His anxiety and insecurity have been described by his fear when he saw hefty men with murderous eyes. He ran here and there looking for his parents. His turban was untied and his clothes became dirty. He was screaming at the top of his voice and inconsolably wailing for his parents. And now we have question number 4. Why does the lost child lose interest in the things that he had wanted earlier? So the answer is, the lost child lost interest in the things that he wanted earlier because he was sad as he had lost his parents. Before getting anything of his wish, like sweets, flowers, balloons, joy rides and music, he wanted to be together again with his mother and father. Well, now last question, question number 5. What do you think happens in the end? Does the child find his parents? Well, to this question, let me tell you that the ending of the story is not specified. Being a philanthropist and an optimist, I think that in the end, the boy finds his parents seeking help at the fair reception. Thus, the child finds his parents and they become together once again. Well, that's all in this video. With the end of this video, we come to an end of the story The Lost Child, written by Mulk Raj Anand. I hope you have understood the chapter and enjoyed it. I also hope that you have understood the questions and answers that we have discussed in the video. Well, to get more videos of the subsequent chapters, please subscribe to the channel and share among your friends. Thank you and have a nice time.